Love to me means so many different things. But I think there's so many different types of love, even outside of relationships with friendships and, you know, the love that I have for my fans and the love that I have for my dog. It's a warm and fuzzy feeling. Growing up, I've listened to all different types of music. My mom and my dad have very different kinds of music tastes, so I got to listen to everything from Eminem to Metallica to Fleetwood Mac. My personality growing up, I didn't have as much of a filter as I do now, so I was definitely quick to bite back. But I've always had, you know, a good energy, and I had a lot of friends. Towards middle school, people started to get really awful, and then bullying started happening. The bullying started around 6th grade, so it was before social media, and I left school for 7th grade. And I came back in 8th grade, and then I started social media, and then it started up again, and then I left again. So it's kind of a really awful cycle, but I'm out now, and I'm taking my GED soon. Being vulnerable is always difficult, especially because I feel like me as a person, I just have a lot of trust issues telling people how I feel. So it was kind of hard to be vulnerable and open yourself up to so many different people who are writing about your life experiences and making sure that, you know, it comes across correctly. But I've started working with a lot of people that I'm super comfortable with. Some of my posts were too mature for the age that I was, and I don't think the internet could handle it. I've always been more mature than my age, and I think that was kind of a struggle coming onto social media because I was used to my friend group and everyone kind of accepted that, but when you're exposing yourself to the world, some people aren't ready for that, so I kind of had to reel it in a little bit. I think the best advice I can give to people who are going through bullying, especially in school, is that it doesn't last forever. I know when you're in the moment, it feels like, you know, it's never going to end, but once you graduate, you never have to see those people again, and just keep your head up and remember who you are and keep a tight circle of friends around you if you can and focus on school. My mom actually lives with me now out in California. My dad still lives in Philly. He's a scientist. He's a pharmaceutical biologist. So that's a pretty cool job. I get to hear lots of cool monkey stories and things like that because he works with monkeys. And my mom was a hairstylist. She owned a business for a while, and she was a bank teller. And now she's full-time mother to Loren Gray. She's really good with marketing. Like, she's really good with coming up with music video ideas and song ideas. So I always go to her for those kinds of things. Being homeschooled was actually the easiest decision I've ever made. I wanted to get out of school so bad so I could leave the drama and focus on learning. The first time that I sang in front of people was I sang Riptide on the first tour I ever went on. And that was so last minute. I was not supposed to sing. I was just supposed to, you know, go on stage and kind of entertain. And someone, you know, I forget who told me to just go up there. And I practiced a few times the day before with Sonny, and we went up and we did it. And it worked out really well, and I really enjoyed it, and that's kind of what made me fall in love with performing music. I realized when I started taking music more seriously and I was doing more studio sessions and making more music, sometimes you just need a label to bring you to that next level. And I'd heard really great things about Virgin, and they've all proven to be true, so I'm really happy and excited that I get to be here and work with them. Around the time of 13, I've always been into poetry as well, which helps a lot with songwriting, but when I was around 13, is when I started to kind of fall in love with the music making process. After touring, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Sometimes you have to be vulnerable to get a good song because you can't make a really heartfelt, emotional song without actual emotion behind it. And I've definitely just become more accepting and open-minded to a lot of things and confident in allowing myself to do the things that I never thought I could do. My biggest challenges have kind of been internal. I think a lot of it stems from I didn't really believe in myself growing up, convince myself that I was good enough to be in this position, and I think I've kind of proven that to myself, and I hope to prove that to everyone else. I want to be remembered for empowering other people. I think that that's my goal, is especially the young girls that follow me, is empowering them to be themselves and be confident, because I wish that 3 years ago when I was in such a dark place and I was so closed-minded and insecure, I wish I had someone to look at, aspire to be positive like them, and I think that the world needs more of that because there's so much drama and so much hate. I think that the world needs more positivity.